Jazzcast Pros.
Are you tired of hearing that this product or that routine is the ultimate solution to your sleep problems, only to try it and end up staring at your ceiling at 3 a.m., frustrated, asking the universe, what did you do to deserve this? Trust me, you're not alone. Today on the Doze Podcast, I'm diving into the overwhelming world of sleep products, conflicting advice, and how the science behind sleep is often misapplied to many of these solutions. More importantly, I'm going to be talking about how a sleep coach can help you cut through the noise and find something that truly works for you. Welcome back to the Doze Podcast. I'm your host, Soda Kuczkowski, your guide to navigating the world of sleep to project your best self. Today, I want to dig into how to escape the never-ending stream of sleep tips, sleep aids, and the myth of perfect sleep. By the end of this episode, you'll find clarity on what really matters most when it comes to improving your sleep and finding a solution. And here's a hint. The key difference is you. All right, let's get real for just a second. The sleep world has become exhausting. 1 minute it's chamomile tea before bed. The next, tea is suddenly the enemy, and now it's all about the sleepy girl mocktail or boiling lettuce and drinking it to help you sleep better. I know it's enough to make anyone feel lost. And what do? You end up buying into it or, the next gadget or supplement or product that promises to be the solution. You know what I'm talking about. From weighted blankets to blue light glasses, essential oils, sound machine, lavender sprays. You might have tried it all, but after all that, most of you still find yourselves lying wide awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if you're missing the one thing that will finally work. Now, don't get me wrong, all of these things definitely have a place in helping you. But here's the thing, it's not you. The problem is that sleep has gotten way too complicated. Not only do you have an overload of conflicting advice, but in many cases, the science is being misapplied when it comes to sleep products. Also, something that works for one person might not work for another because each of us is different with unique sleep needs. Our individual circumstances, from our stress levels, your lifestyle, even genetics, all play a huge role in determining what helps or might hinder your sleep. One product that promises to knock you out faster than a heavyweight champ might work for someone else, but for you, not so much. And that's because sleep isn't a one-size-fits-all, even if the marketing tells you otherwise. The truth is, for most of you, melatonin was never the answer. And if you want to know why, I'm going to drop the link to the episode where I dive into the details of how it's mismarketed, misunderstood, and misused. So then the question is, why do you keep falling into this trap? The truth is, the sleep industry, and yes, even your doctor, often misapply the research. Instead of focusing on you as an individual, they apply generalized solutions to everyone, ignoring the fact that your sleep needs are unique, and that's where the confusion starts. This is why a sleep coach can be such a game changer. As a sleep coach, I cut through all the clutter and conflicting information to focus on you and your specific circumstances. I don't rely on that one-size-fits-all solution or some latest trend. Instead, I take into account your lifestyle, your stress levels, your work schedule, and your environment to craft a personalized sleep plan. As a sleep coach, I'm trained to help you in ways that traditional medical training often misses, which is a whole other episode that I actually recorded that's called Your Doctor Doesn't Sleep Well Either, because most simply don't. Their own well-being is often compromised when they're studying to care for you, and there is a huge gap where the conversation of sleep makes it into their education. So honestly, they often just don't know how to help you. And with the way our current healthcare system is set up, they simply don't have the time to dig deep into your sleep issues, which is why products and supplements are so enticing. They promise you answers, solutions, and relief, but often underdeliver. You've likely seen the flashy marketing for sleep aids that promise to fix all your sleep problems. Well, a sleep coach helps you see through the marketing fluff and figure out what might actually help you. The truth is, some products may work for certain individuals because of their unique circumstances, but that doesn't mean they're universally effective. Supplements being at the top of that list. In fact, the science behind some of these products is often misapplied, as I had mentioned. This is where a sleep coach steps in to help you sift through what's real and what's just marketing, saving you time and money on things that won't actually improve your sleep. Ultimately, as a sleep coach, I help you navigate the maze of advice, products, and misinformation while offering a personalized approach that focuses on what works for you. Instead of relying on that one-size-fits-all solution, I help you tune into your body's signals and find the strategies that generally work in your specific situation. This can also be the best form of support for sleep issues, as there is a lot of conflicting information regarding sleep. Many of it is clickbait, but the researchers also have a hand in making it more complicated than it has to be. A lot of money is often spent studying the effects of something. But while they're conducting study after study, most of us have already formed our own conclusions about what works best for us. I know I've seen it firsthand, and I'm sure you have too. Whether it's trying a new sleep supplement, adjusting your routine, or creating a sleep-friendly environment, we often discover what helps us long before the studies catch up. A good example of this is weighted blankets. A couple years ago, they went mainstream and spread like wildfire. And there was claim after claim that they didn't know enough about it and it hadn't been validated, while thousands of people gave accounts of their success stories, only to find that in current day, they now do confirm that it in fact is beneficial for sleep, especially for anxiety. But I knew, and you probably did too. This is where it gets kind of funny, because as it turns out, most of us have been onto something all along. Have you ever noticed how your best sleep hack might be something really simple? Maybe it's a warm shower before bed or a meditation app that relaxes you. Even if the science behind it is still catching up, we don't need to wait for another peer-reviewed article to tell us what works. We're already living it. And don't even get me started on who is included in most of these studies. It's usually not the shift workers or the caregivers or the stressed out parents running on fumes. Those of you who need the help the most are usually the ones who get left out of the research. So naturally, you end up trying every solution on the market. And when none of it works, you start to think that there's something wrong with you. But spoiler alert, there's not. I'd like to say that it's misguided, but the truth is, the issue is the lack of guidance in these areas. I want to take pause for just a second to share something important, because despite the confusion, health experts do welcome the fact that sleep has become a cultural focus. The rise of sleep hacks and gadgets, they say might actually serve a greater purpose. I read an article the other day that said, everything works for someone, and that rituals around preparing for sleep, whether it's using certain products for winding down, are instrumental in signaling to your brain that it's time to sleep. And I love this perspective because it reminds us that sleep is more than just science. It's deeply personal. Our nightly routines, whether they involve a sleep spray or a weighted blanket or turning off screens early or, any kind of cues to our brains that it's time to rest, sometimes those rituals matter more than the research suggests, and that's something that we should all take comfort in. That's where, as a sleep coach, I can really help you navigate this overwhelming sea of sleep solutions. And there's a couple ways that sleep coaches kind of solidify and can help you create your perfect plan for sleep. Although there is no such thing as perfect sleep. And I want to emphasize that because life is full of ebb and flows. There are a number of things that are always going on at a given time. And having one bad night of sleep doesn't mean you're a bad sleeper. And it doesn't mean that the next night is going to be a bad night of sleep, right? All you can do is focus on the present night and the present circumstances. All of the choices that you make throughout the day help to set the tone for your sleep at night. But as a sleep coach, this is where I help you recognize this. First, by creating a personalized approach. I don't use a cookie cutter method. I offer strategies specific to your unique sleep needs, moving beyond that generic advice of, everyone needs 8 hours. Instead, focusing on your individual sleep patterns and providing you guidance based on your specific challenges. Whether it has to do with lifestyle, work schedules, stress levels, your environment. This means moving away, again, from that one-size-fits-all sleep advice and offering you those tailored solutions that fit your life. I help you cut through the noise. With so much conflicting information out there, as a sleep coach, I can help you find what actually works for you with an open mind and a personalized approach, not just what the latest research or product trend says. I can provide accountability and support. One of the biggest challenges people face when trying to improve their sleep is consistency. As a sleep coach, I can offer ongoing support, helping you to stay accountable, track progress, and adjust your routine over time. And this encourages sustainable long-term improvements and helps you build those long-lasting sleep habits. I can educate and empower you. As a coach, I simplify sleep science, making it practical and actionable, demystifying a lot of these things that you might not even recognize what they mean, right? Like a circadian rhythm. What is that, right? And really help you cut through the jargon when it comes to sleep and sleep science. And most importantly, instead of discrediting what works for you as an individual, I can help you work to refine and improve whatever methods, right, within a safe, practical framework. And last, I can help you with realistic goal setting. Instead of encouraging a quick fix, I can help you set up goals, allowing you to focus on progress rather than perfection. This takes the pressure off of you and helps you build confidence in your ability to improve your sleep gradually. In summary, as a sleep coach, I help you take the guesswork out of how to sleep your best. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Doze Podcast. If you've been feeling lost in a sea of sleep advice, I encourage you to trust your body's cues. While research and science have their place, your sleep journey is personal. And if this episode has resonated with you, I would encourage you to share it with a friend who might be struggling with their own sleep challenges. And don't forget to subscribe to the Doze with a Z for more insights on how to improve your sleep health. Until next time, remember, your sleep is as unique as you are. Sleep well.